I be talking options, I got lots of those in life. I could get you started, but I can't teach you to drive. I turn on my monitors and swear I come alive. Cash is always liquid, always dripping, never dry.
All right, so I recorded a video like this. You guys were supposed to see, the Robinhood screen, and then you were supposed to see this view that you guys see here. I'm still setting up, so excuse the mess, but I forgot to record on the GoPro. But let me know, what do you guys think about this view? Do you guys like this visual element? Do you want just the screen? Let me hear some feedback from you, but yeah, let's get into this video. And then before I do that, make sure you guys drop your like if you find this helpful. Give some comments with questions so I could get better ideas from this and we could elaborate on this topic. And finally, make sure you are on the live stream. It's the first link in the description and pinned in the comments. We are live 30 minutes before open, baby. So let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about exactly when to sell an option contract to get the most gain or the most amount of value. If you were watching on stream, it's been a great week. Even if you've been hanging up with the watch list, there's been a lot of 1,000%ers. And a big key to it was, how did we get to maximize those gains? And at the same time, some of them we sold too early. UNH, we got that one, and you guys could see what happened, and that's where a lot of it started too, because once you get one play in there, it could take you a long way. But where is it? Right there. We got that for $45, or wait, $450. We got it for $37, and then I had the issue, and we'll go over that. I'll make a video of how, and again, this is my first time experiencing on Robinhood. It was very difficult to sell, and that was my first time being in a very expensive, volatile contract on Robinhood and dealing with that. So be very, very careful on that. And you guys see how it was. But we got $450 from that. And then at the end of the day, though, I had other contracts that the stock didn't move as much as UNH, and we made more money from it. So this goes to show, and this is very, very important, because this is what was really discouraging trying to build this small account. And you guys could see here, I'm saying that was 500 from the day before, but you could see this account was, at the beginning of the week, it was at $140. So, putting this into context with everything, it became, what was really discouraging was that you could hit one play and it would be a good play, but if you did sell out too early, you weren't able to really get the most from it. And then if you lost on another play, it's really easy to give back the profit. So we want to talk about how to get the most out of your contract. And it's not about looking at a technical indicator or anything like that. It is literally the strategy that you employ with the capital. So we'll go through the history. And again, why I want to do this, and let me know, man, post it in the comments. How many of you racked out on this Facebook play? Look, we got these again on Friday. This was $7 each. It was like a $14 investment. Now they're worth $92 alone. And we took this one $40 to $200. But now, how do we play these? And these plays are going to be great because, one, they could go down, and there was, a news development on this. I'm going to make sure we put that on the watch list. So make sure you guys are subscribed and have the notifications on. But at the end of the day here, how we play these two plays, these could be, game changers. You play one or two of these right, and they do make crazy moves. You're going to be able to benefit very, very greatly off of that. But again, it's very difficult, and you need to know your goals. You guys need to know where you want to be and what you're trying to accomplish and on how to sell this, because depending on the size of your account, don't want to chase too hard, and at the same time, you don't want to sell too early. But again, that everything's about balance here. So we'll see what I did with this play. But first, I want to talk about just the overall strategy. How do we hold contracts to the max? It's not about the play itself, but it's about the other plays in conjunction. So you'll see here, we got the UNH. The minute we sold that for $450, this was both a blessing and a curse because I played too much, but I played the NVIDIA to hedge. And so that one was hedged to another contract that I ended up selling for $500, so I'm considering that a wash. Then there's this Facebook 200, that's $34. Even then, that's another $34 on the NVIDIA. Then 25 here, that's $60, so it's almost $75. Then another 27, it's almost about $100 put back in, and that's a little too much. You don't want to go, and again, you guys, that's what usually happens. You get a payday, you go in there, but thankfully, like I said, blessing and a curse in many degrees. I sold that Boeing there for $25 to $200, and now this is where is what allowed me to do that. But then again, at the same time, if you guys saw, we took the HD from $20 to $260. The NVIDIA, the other call side, was $30 to $580. And then there was that Boeing, and then ultimately the Facebook. But what allowed this now is, again, you get some money here. It starts with the first play. How do you hold it? And one, we had issues here, but the point is, why was I so quick to sell the UNHs? You know, again, that's why I had the $7. Again, I had the issue. I couldn't sell out at 7. I couldn't sell at 5. I took $4.50. Even the end of that day, or 6 minutes later, that contract was worth $1,000. But why was I so quick to sell that? But then I held the Boeing till expiration. And then if you saw the NVIDIA, the HD and all that, I held those till expiration. It's because at the time I didn't have a winner yet. So the point is, once you get a winner, or now once you're in a play and it's up, the key is to get your money back or walk away with still a sizable portion. You know, at the end of the day, I still got 1,000% on NVIDIA. I put $100 back in. But now that I had all of these plays, and then what happened, I had Facebook and Boeing up, and at pretty much in the morning, I had to pretty much decide which one I wanted to keep and which one I wanted to sell. But then again, and at times the market can move and you won't get to make that decision. It will just happen. But again, at the same time, I had the Boeing, the HD and all that, and you guys were watching the stream. What I made sure I did, and this is how you hold them, you have to balance the portfolio and understand what you're holding. These were weekly contracts that were going to expire. So what I had to decide was I had to sell one in order to keep the other. Pretty much, it's like a draft pick. It's like playing fantasy sports or anything. You have 3 players, 4 players. You have to make one, you have to cut one, take the profit, and decide which one you're going to hold. And now here's the key to maximize these contracts. It's spending a small amount of money to get in the money, and then holding them close, if not all the way up till expiration, to maximize your odds and probability. And again, being that they're low probability, it's kind of counterintuitive. So putting this in a perspective, you could see that's what we did with those other plays, and I'll go over the other plays on the watch list. But then now we got those Facebooks, and then what happened with the Facebook? We got this one for $45, then I got these ones for $28, and I got 4 of these at 7 cents is what we got filled at. And then right away when it started shooting up, I sold 2 of them for 34 cents. So this is part of the strategy as well too. I made sure I pretty much got my initial investment back plus a gain, and I'm still holding 2 of these contracts now that are worth about $40 each, or like we said, yeah, $96 total. And then that 45 contract is worth like 2 something. And now here's how you, like I said, how to maximize the contract is by taking it to expiration. You know, right? This contract is going to expire next week. How is it going to make money if and only if Facebook closes above 210? So the odds of it coming above 220 is pretty unlikely. So now I have to be able to decide which one am I going to hold. That's why I was quick to sell these. These could go up with the extrinsic value, but this one's going to probably be the one getting closest to the money. If I did want to make a big risk, or if really what I need to decide is how I'm going to hold this, and I'm most likely going to want to cut this one that's going to be in the money because it's going to go up over in the week and it might touch close, but that's going to be a big move for it to go above 210. But the fact is 220 is most likely not going to hit. But at the same time, I could lose on both of those. So I have to decide. But my key with this now, I've already took a gain, but now I have a sizable gain here. I want to make sure I could walk away with a good amount of money, add a couple $100 to this small account, and then hold this one, the 220. And that would probably be the best strategy here, would be to wait till Monday, sell out the 220, get a couple $100, and then just literally hold that 220 till expiration and let it do its thing. And that's really how you're going to do it. But the key with it is balancing and knowing what you're going to do. And when you spread out, again, that's why with a lot of these, I say go small on these contracts and spread them out. You guys saw I spread out $25 each, or pretty much spent $100 on 6 plays. Apple, Microsoft, Apple, Microsoft, Boeing, NVIDIA, and Facebook. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was $100 total investment, and you see what one of them could do there, and what you're able to do now. But at the same time, if you guys go back to that stream and what happened, I had the HD that day, the Boeing and the NVIDIA contracts. They were all near the money, or all in the money, and they were all going to expire. They were even like a couple cents away from the money. So what did I do? I had to decide in the morning. I said, okay, I have HD, NVIDIA, and Boeing. HD was going up and I liked it. That was $20. It was at $200. I took that one because my logic was, hey, I'm going to take that for $200. It pays for the initial investment on the other plays, even on the other account. But the logic with it now is I could hold the other ones for a longer amount of time. It allowed me to hold NVIDIA for an extra 3 hours or even 2 hours. And then I saw NVIDIA was kind of maxing out, and you have to understand intrinsic and extrinsic value. A lot of people were kind of unaware of how that was going to affect their contract on a Friday. And that's why I like looking at the Friday contracts and for learning, even though they're really risky. But what I did from there, I got to hold NVIDIA for an extra few hours, sold out of that contract. And then from there, I got to hold the Boeing for more, extra 3 hours after that. And we sold out a little bit, probably like 2 hours before close. And we still got 1,000% there. And that's kind of how you're able to maximize and get the most out of these contracts, is setting yourself up to either walk away with a little bit amount of money, walk away with a gain, or even once my strategy here, once I get a win, I'm spreading out a little bit. Though you have to make sure, though, you can't spread out too much, because it's easy to get carried away and then letting them get time, or let them get time by not having time. Short duration contract going to expire, but actually holding it, because if you do get in the money and hold it, and on some of these plays we're playing, they could really do a lot of damage, and that's the point. But it's just account management and making the options and plays free, just like I did there with the Facebook. So hopefully you guys got to profit on the Facebook. Hopefully you guys have been learning. Hopefully your small accounts are good. And even then, I will say this in the video I'm going to talk about. Yes, there's a strategy to keep adding money to this account, go little by little. But now, I think I'm seeing how much money I made on it. If I would add, $100 a month, if I did make a couple $100 in a month, maybe it would make sense to not add for another month, or even not make another trade for another month. So tell me what you guys think about that. Let me know what you think about this video. Give me your feedback on it, questions, if this makes sense. How have you adopted it? How have you incorporated this? All that. So I'd love to hear it. And I love you guys, and I'll see you on the stream. Let's go.